There we go. You would never know from just looking at this black hoodie, black t-shirt kind of wearing thing. But yeah, it's another day of Destination Decluttered here on a TikTok Live. What is it? Monday morning. Goodness, what day is today? The 16th. Yeah. Cat Roby, I see you. Hey yo, Cat Roby. Very fun. Very demure, very mindful. Very cool. What was I looking at here? Yep, okay, just double checking that I don't have to get off on the red hot dot of 10 a.m. because I started about a minute late. So, hey, happy Monday. Happy second Monday before the holiday weekend, or the Monday before, whatever, the 5th, the whatever. What am I trying to say? Monday the 16th. There. Make it nice and simple. If we haven't met before, Teresa, nice to see you. Oh, you know what? I got this goofy, yeah. Talk about decluttering. Here's a declutter for you right now. Again, if we haven't met before, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching here on TikTok and on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and the website, Destination Decluttered. Okay? Oh, Shanana, fancy meeting you here, huh? Shannon met retrograde, like to see you. So, decluttering, true decluttering story from my life. So when I got up this morning, I was like, do I want tea? Do I want water? Do I want water? Do I want tea? I have blood work I got to get done later today, so I can't eat anything. And I said, well, maybe I'll get some water, but I'm going to be on for 2 hours, so I want to make sure I have plenty of water with me. Okay? Brenda says, I have 24 years to declutter my house and building. Awesome. Go to town, friend. So I reached up to where I normally would have my water bottle, and I found this thing right here. Now, this was kind of a gift at a thing that we went to, and somebody put a sticker on it, and man, it's not really mine. It's my husband's. Going to be like, can we just declutter this? It is too big. It is too heavy. When I go to lift it from this side, I can't do it. I have to, like, it does not function well. It's frustrating me. I don't want anything in my life and in my house that frustrates me. That's how I roll. So, hey, I love this. Catherine says, big day yesterday, got so much done. I love it. I love it. Isn't that a good feeling? Isn't that a good feeling? To get so much done and to kind of revel in that good feeling of getting it done. You know? Yeah, it's totally not user-friendly, Oceanana. Totally. No, user hostile, as I like to joke. So I'm going to do something with that after my husband wakes up. But notice how your things can make you feel. Now, this is neat. I was frustrated with this giant mug, but I'm going to get rid of that frustration. Catherine did a whole bunch of stuff yesterday, and check it out. She says, it feels so good to wake up to clean. Okay? Now, Brenda says, help, where do I start? I'm not very organized. Well, I can help you with that. First of all, though, before we get to organize and before we get to declutter, again, I'm a decluttering life coach, and this will not come as any surprise to anybody who's heard me before, but I want you to make sure that you're feeling good in your bod, that you're calmed down in your nervous system, that if you're all keyed up, as some people say, we're going to calm that down so you feel better, because when you feel better, not only do you work better and the work feels easier, but you also plan better when you do that. Erin, so I love it. Cleaning parties are solid motivation. I love that, Catherine. And Erin, I often will raise my mug to you. I get this stupid mug right here that is totally going in the Goodwill box after I leave this TikTok Live, but good morning to you. Okay? So, yes, I did a couple of decluttering parties this weekend. They were so much fun. You guys, we've raised over $600 for the women's shelter in my town. I'm going to donate that. So thank you everybody who participated in the decluttering parties. I will be doing more of those in January, February, March, April, May, 2025. If you're interested in those, get on my mailing list, okay? I say that too because there's all these like rumors going around or facts or whatever about TikTok going away. The email list is also how we can stay in touch, okay? So really cool stuff. Notice how you can help yourself and help other people. It is not an either or. In conjunction junction here, we are all about and, not or but. Okay? I mean, we use them interchangeably. But look at what we did. We did some really cool stuff. Catherine's feeling good. The women at the shelter are going to be able to get more, leg up on life because of what we're donating. And this is how I want to roll. Because it's not greedy to take care of yourself. And I say this because also, Brenda, notice when I said taking care of yourself. Figuring out where your nervous system is. How are you feeling here? Are you all up here? Or are you kind of like, ugh, I don't even know what to do? And planning accordingly. Getting yourself in the right vibe, in the right frame of mind to even do something. That gets you feeling better, and when you feel better, you make a better plan. You show up and do the work. It feels easier. You feel good about what you did. You're not beating yourself up about what you didn't do. So I always like to say, start with calming down your nervous system. Writing down what you want to do, quieting down your brain, picking a destination that you want to get to. What is my destination decluttered? And again, chunking it down. There's all sorts of things you can do, but notice how you feel physically and mentally affects everything. It really does. So start there. Are you feeling okay? What can you do to make yourself feel better physically? What can you do to make yourself feel better emotionally, mentally, energetically, spiritually, all that kind of stuff? So that when you go to make a plan, you feel like you can do it. And if you feel like you can do it, you're more likely to do it. Okay? So that's how I like to roll with that kind of stuff. How do I do it on a daily basis? I'll share with you. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, how do I feel? I don't feel so good today. What can I do about it? Okay, can I drink some more water? Could I eat some protein? Could I go for a walk? Now, today's kind of crappy out, so I'm not going to go for a walk. Today I can't eat protein or whatever because I get some blood work, but I can drink some water. I can go to the bathroom. I can take a shower. I can breathe deeply. I can quiet down. I can grab my pen and my workbook, which is just literally like a 35-cent. I think they're up to like $1.50 now up at Staples because it's not back to school season. I will write down what I want to get done. I will write down what's bugging me. I will listen to the negative voices in my head, and I will write that down too. Because when I write down what my backseat drivers are saying, man, do they sound like little kids trying to make me feel bad. What I do then is I write down what they say, but I've already folded the paper in half into 2 columns. So they only get half. They get it's like a debate in a way. They get some airtime, but then I leave some space for what I call my co-pilot voice. Now, I am pretty much showing up for my one-on-one clients because I do paid one-on-one coaching, but also the people on my mailing list and here on TikTok. I show up speaking the language of what I call your co-pilot voice. Now, what does this mean? I like to think of everything as a road trip. So if you're the driver, which you are, you're the driver in your life, I'm the driver in my life. But we all have kind of invisible passengers in our car. You've got your backseat driver. You hear from them all the time. This is hard. You can't do this. You're too old. You're too fat. You're too ugly. You're wrinkly. Nobody likes you. Your mother dresses you funny. Everybody else is better than you. You don't have enough money. All that wonderful, unhelpful stuff. Yeah, we all got that. I like to quiet that down. Turn down the volume on that. So they're just like, I can't hear you. Okay? And I like to turn up the volume on the co-pilot. Now, who's the co-pilot? That's that BFF in the passenger seat on this road trip. The person who is next to you who says, wherever you want to go, I can help you get there. I know how to help you get there. I am that person in your life. You say to me, I don't know how to get there. I'm like, okay, I can help, but you got to tell me, where are you going? Now, typically, this is a very broad term. You and I will be going to your destination decluttered. Okay, so tell me what it looks like. How do I know when we're getting there? What are some of the things that we know that need to be done in order to get there? And you write those down and you share them with me. You know? So this is what we do. And I can help you get there. I am good at this. And it's just like a road trip. We prep ourselves. We make sure there's gas in the tank. We know where we're going because we've got that destination. We map it out on a daily basis. What are some things I can do that I know are on that road towards that destination? Do they fit in with my time and my energy that I have today? This week, perfect example for me, is I have some things planned for Monday and Tuesday. I do. But then about halfway through Tuesday, I literally have a line. See this right here? This is my day. I have a line where I haven't planned anything because I need to prep for some medical stuff and I know I'm going to feel like crap. So I'm not going to make myself do something if I'm going to feel like crap. The next day, I've got 90% of the day except for one thing going on, and then even the following day. So notice, it is like planning a road trip. And when you plan your life like a road trip, you decrease the drama, and you would say, as my husband's song says, turn up the fun. How can we make it fun to get from here to there? We can make it miserable. You know how you make it miserable? You don't stop, you keep on going, you beat yourself up, you're exhausted, you slide in empty tanks, you get up in the morning, you do the same thing. That sucks. That is not a road trip, people. That is a commute. And that is being like a trucker on trucker speed. Okay? Treat your life more like a road trip and less like a commute. You know what the difference is too? Is a road trip is to someplace you're excited to get to. A commute? Not so much. Okay? Now, user 1963, good morning. Sorry I had to miss the decluttering parties this weekend. My dad had surgery. Of course. These things are just offered to you as something that might help you. But life happens. So it is totally cool that you were there for your dad. The neat thing is, and 6242 says, I wanted to join, but I had to take my daughter to the hospital. Oh my gosh, you guys, yeah. Take care of the people. Take care of the things that are really important. I will say the decluttering parties, these entire ones that we just ended our fourth one, they were so much fun. I got stuff done. People got stuff done. People are showing up on repeat. They're connecting up. They're getting to know people's names. They're going to get in touch off, in between sessions to FaceTime and wrap presents together. And they were really fun. And people were building on their progress from the previous party. Really good stuff. And I will share this with you. It is not an idea that I had. It was an idea that maybe somebody here on a TikTok said, or probably somebody on one of my on my mailing list. The good news, 1963 and 6242 and anybody else, is that I will be doing more decluttering parties in the new year. I have already picked the dates for the ones in January, and the people who were on those parties this weekend, I shared those dates with them. I will share the dates with my mailing list when I write down, because I got some good stuff to share for the people on the mailing list. We raised a bunch of money for the women's shelter, January party dates. There are no consultations more for the rest of the year. Just so you know, if you're not one of my one-on-one clients and you want to work with me, you may notice that on my calendar there are no more consultations. That's because I have medical stuff this week, and then next week is Christmas and travel, and then the week after that, I'm going to start them up in the new year. Do not worry, though. Do not worry, because typically in years past, my rates have increased at the end of the year. I decided not to do that this year. So there is no difference in trying to cram in signing up for decluttering coaching right before the end of the year versus starting at the beginning of the year. Okay? So no worries about that. And then also the TikTok live schedule. People on the mailing list know when I'm going to show up between now and the end of the year. Okay? If any of that sounds interesting to you, hop on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com/join, or just get to destinationdecluttered.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and fill out your email address, hit send. Okay? User 6242, I don't have my prices listed somewhere. I don't, and that is strategic. It's because, first of all, they have changed. They do change. But second of all is I do not want the amount of money. I may do something about this in the new year, but currently I don't post them because I don't want the amount of money that I charge for my coaching to be a barrier to entry. What I may do, though, is I may do that in the beginning of the year. I might put the price on there just in case it truly is out of somebody's wheelhouse that they may, not want to waste their time getting in touch with me. Okay, so I'm just going to write down price, question mark, post price. I might, but I will think about that. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, oh, and thank you. Yeah, Kara, the medical stuff, and I share this with all of you. Medical stuff is totally okay. It's just me maintaining my body. It's doing the things that my aging body need to get done. It's nothing crucial, but thank you for your concern. I appreciate it. I say this and I share this stuff with you guys too, so please take care of your body. Our spirit is energetic and endless, but man is trapped in a decomposing suit of flesh. So do what you can do to make yourself feel better, whether it's going to the dentist, whether it's getting some blood tests, whether it's going, I'm going to get a colonoscopy. That's what I'm getting ready for. Oh boy. You know, but I have stuff that runs in my family, so I have to go more frequently than some other people. I do that. Do I enjoy it? Not particularly. But please, 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 notice what I said at the very beginning when somebody was like, oh my God, I don't know where to start as far as decluttering goes. Start with taking care of your body. If your body fails you, if you don't take care of your body, you can't do a damn thing. Okay? So I share that with you. Please, yeah, 59 requires maintenance. Yes, I think of, you know, on cars. Again, I always go back to cars. Cars that say over 50,000 miles, your original warranty is over. I'm on replacement parts and extended warranty right now. But I want to do the best I can. Okay? So good morning, everybody. Enough of me and my stuff, but notice what I said. I'm taking time and energy out of my week to take care of my body. Because if I don't take care of that, it's like running your car into the ground. Yes, Cat Mama, and I've done it a bunch of times, won't remember a thing. The only thing I remember is the prep. But you know what? I've prepped for the prep. So, are you taking care of yourself today? Are you drinking some water? Have you put on some clothes that are comfortable? Have you taken a shower? What can you do right now today? Well, maybe not right now because you want to hang out with me, of course, to make yourself feel better. Now, if you're feeling good physically and kind of mentally and you want to do some decluttering while I'm chatting, I love it when people just work on their surface clutter. So the way I talk about clutter, surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Oh, hey, this is really cool. When you declutter some things, you might meet some really cool people when you declutter the stuff you care about. So Kara has been working with her dad, who is a professional photographer, but he's aging, and he's no longer going to print his stuff, but he has a darkroom equipment. And Kara just shared with everybody, we sold my dad's darkroom sink and enlarger and met two amazing young photographers, which made him so happy. Yeah, I know myself. I love that. I know myself when I was parting with things that I was no longer using. Actually, my 35 millimeter camera that I got in the 80s, I ended up gifting it to my niece because I saw her when I went up to Mass at one point, and she came into my sister's house and she was wearing like a digital camera around her neck. And I was like, oh my God, my new camera back in the 80s is now her vintage camera. So I was psyched to find somebody who would use it and appreciate it, so I donated that to her. So notice the wonderful things that can happen when you are releasing items that you no longer are using, you know? So I love, Kara, that that's happening and you feel good about it and your dad feels good about it, because I know initially that process was a lot, you know? And yes, and that, yeah, and they were very excited to meet him. So at 84, that is awesome. He is energized and pivoting. And he also was an inspiration to them about being 84 years old and doing that, you know? So awesome. I love it too. Brenda says, yes, I feel good, ready to declutter after my coffee. I joined your email list. Rockin'. Yeah, please do. Good stuff, good people. I'm telling you. It's like my little Edie. I'm telling you. They didn't know they were dealing with a staunch character. Staunch. Okay. Yes, Teresa says, just joined your email list. Looking forward to a new January. Me too. But let's start that January right now. I say this because I used to be like, oh, I can't deal and I'll just deal with it later. You can do something today to make yourself feel better, declutter-wise and otherwise. So start now. Plant the seeds so that it's not this dramatic thing at the beginning of the year. Exactly. Staunch. How were they to know? They didn't know. The family didn't know. They were dealing with a staunch character. Now I've cracked myself up and totally digressed rather. Here's what I'm thinking. So let me give you some practical bugs. So Oceanana, wonderful Brenda, happy decluttering. Beth is the best. Why, thank you. Michelle says, I'm so glad I got done what I did yesterday on the Zoom. I am too, Ms. Seashell. Miss Seashell. Oh, yeah. The Zooms are wicked fun. I will be doing more of those. The neat thing is right now we're technically on a quasi type of Zoom thing where if you want to declutter while we're talking, I don't mind it. I don't need your rapt attention and looking at me like I'm looking at you and you're looking at me and I'm looking at you. Yeah. Go declutter while we're chatting. But do me a favor. Do us both a favor. Start to declutter while I'm talking. The easiest clutter to do is your surface clutter. The stuff that is the clutter of everyday life, of stuff that just needs to be put away or washed or folded or thrown away or put in a donation bag. The stuff that's kind of a no-brainer. You've already made a decision and you're cool with it. Those are the types of things that you can declutter while somebody else is talking to you. The other two layers are usually when it's better to have quiet. Now, that's really what we had yesterday when we did these declutter parties, is we all got together on Zoom. We showed up, same bat time, same bat channel, and then I set a timer. And then I muted myself and I muted everybody. This is because with stored clutter and sentimental clutter, you need the quiet of you need external quiet so you can hear yourself think. Because you're going to be asking yourself, what do I do with this? And I was doing it yesterday. I started with some stuff, but I came up with some Christmas ornaments that I needed to figure out what to do with. Okay. I love it. Cat Roby's half of the breakfast bar is visible. Check mark. Wonderful. Now, Sconson says, oops, excuse me, let me just show this so everybody can see it. Yesterday, I gave myself 1 hour to declutter the basement. I ended up getting so involved it was 2 hours. Okay. If you have the time and energy to do that and it does not impact your already existing schedule, I love it. You know? But if you don't have the time, 1 hour in the basement is better than no hours in the basement. Now, Judy, I'm really interested about this, so if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you. Judy says, I was frustrated with everything yesterday, so I left the Zoom early. Okay, you do not need to apologize to me, okay? But what I will say to you is notice the word you used. Okay, Judy, let me give you some coaching right now. Pull out a piece of paper, something. I was frustrated with everything. Okay, everybody who's frustrated with something. Pull out your notebooks. All right, picture pages. All right, pull out a notebook or a piece of paper, fold it in half. On the top of the left-hand column, put backseat drivers. On the bottom of the right-hand column, put your co-pilot. Okay, Judy, take a moment, write down just on the left-hand column, what was everything you were frustrated with yesterday? Everything. You said frustrated with everything, so write down everything you were frustrated with yesterday. I'll wait. Everybody else can play along too, you know. Notice that you will need some quiet time to think and to listen to the voice in your head that brings this up. Now, typically when you're asking yourself about what's frustrating, that's your backseat driver. Oh, they love to go on. They're like drama queens. Well, there was this and that and this went wrong and that went wrong and that. Shh. Write it down and then we'll play with the opposite, you know? So there we are. Yeah. I love it. Diane Hamburg says, I donated my Christmas ornaments that I no longer want to use. Love it. User 6242 says, are you a life coach? Do you only do decluttering or do you coach all aspects? I do both. I was like, yes and yes. I'm a decluttering life coach. So decluttering is my lane that I like to stay in. I am not a parent. I am in a healthy relationship. So I am not the best. Like I can offer suggestions from my training for things, but it's kind of all interwoven, okay? So I hope that helps user 6242. But yes, because I realized early on when I was just doing decluttering, it was so much more about the life coaching. But then frankly, I really enjoy helping people have their house look like they want it to. So that's why I did not go the life coach route by just being a general life coach. I have been a cluttered person. I am no longer a cluttered person, and I know how both of those feel. This side feels a hell of a lot better, so I like to help people with this journey. Okay? Wendy M says, I worked on my work desk. I've got 2 bags of shredded and paperwork and a bag of garbage done. Love it. Love it. Yes, life is too broad. Life can be too broad. It used to overwhelm me. Life used to overwhelm me when somebody said, well, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do with your life? I'm like, I want to rock. But when you smallen it down, I didn't overwhelm myself. Life can be a big word, so I smallen it down to coaching about your clutter, because when you learn how to declutter your home, you're really also learning the exact same skills that it takes to declutter your life. Calming down your nervous system, getting in touch with what you want, writing it down, chunking it down, making time for these things to happen. You practice these skills, making your home look better, boom, your life's going to feel better too. Yeah. And I love this. Wendy M says, decluttering can help other pieces of life fall into place. Yes, my consultation is free. Yes, user 6242. Again, I won't do any until next year. But the consultation is free because honestly, what it is kind of the understanding is you get on a consultation to see if paid coaching is right for you. And for me to see if my paid coaching is right for you to get the result you want. So of course the consultation is free because it's just kind of a get to know you. Getting to know you. And if what I offer is going to help you. And if it's going to work for you. So yes, that's how it is. And I don't pressure anybody into coaching. I don't have to because I get a wonderfully full schedule and people love to work with me. If you would love to work with me, we can make that happen. Get on my mailing list. The mailing list people always know when I've updated my calendar with the consultations in it before anybody else. Okay? Yeah, that's twisted, sister. Exactly. You know? Okay, so Diane Hamburg says, what was the column meanings between backseat driver and co-pilot? Okay, so think about it. Your backseat driver, you can't do that. Go, drive the way I want you to. You're slow. You're not getting that. Backseat driver is that negative person, that negative voice, that unhelpful voice that doesn't want you to do what you want to do. Drive how you want to drive. It's like a backseat driver. Oh, you're driving too fast. You're driving too slow. Should have taken that left. I honestly am I am a backseat driver in the real car sometimes with my husband. I have to zip it. So this is the voice in you that says all the negative, unhelpful stuff. Because when you read what they say, you go, I don't feel like doing anything. On the other side, and thank you for reminding me, Diane. Okay, yeah. The other side of that is your co-pilot. Is your BFF on if we quiet down the kid in the back seat, it's like, quiet them down. Where do you want to go? Let's have some fun here. Where do you want to go? And I'm doing it like the co-pilot looking over at the driver. Because this is what I do. I look to you and say, where do you want to go? I'm listening. Where do you want to go? I don't know. Okay, you don't know? Fine. I'll sit here until you do know. But when you know where you want to go and you're doing all you know how to do, but you're still stuck, I am here to help you. I will cheer you on with everything you know how to do. I will be cheering you on like nobody's business. But when you get stuck, that's when coaching comes in. I'm kind of like a co-pilot and a co-pilot that can also call AAA and drive the tow truck to get you out of the rut when you're stuck. Okay? So I say this, when you write down all the negative stuff that you got or the unhelpful stuff that you got frustrated about, what I offer to you is think of this line down the middle of the opposite. What would I rather feel? What can I do to make this feel better? When it's everything is a very backseat driver word. So I like to get specific. Okay? And I say, what's the opposite of this? Yes, and thank you, Christine. Yeah, you've got fear in the back seat and love in the passenger seat. Because love wants to help and make you forward. You know, love is the feeling that makes you want to move in the direction that you've always wanted to go to, even if it's just a home that feels good and safe and comfortable and delightful to your eye and ear and smell and all the senses, that it functions well for you, that it feels good when you're in it. That is a wonderful thing to aspire to. And the exact same toolkit that I share with my clients, and I'm kind of sharing with you kind of here, to get to your home looking that, you can then use that for other parts of your life. Okay? So yes, very cool. Yeah, backseat driver is the nag. Co-pilot helps you find your way. Yes. And yes, Faith, you're right. Being clutter-free makes life easier. All right? So I hope that helps. Yeah. So it's 9:30 in the morning already. My God. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. I show up here on TikTok until TikTok is no longer here. That's why I also have a free mailing list. Get on my mailing list by going to destinationdecluttered.com and scrolling down to the bottom page. Enter your email address. Boom, you're part of the club. It's free. We do all sorts of fun things with that list. I also do paid one-on-one coaching, but I won't talk about that a lot today because it's nothing I'm offering until the new year. But if it's something you want for Christmas, shoot me an email and we can talk about it. Okay. What was my turn? Lisa is asking, what was my turning point being a cluttered person? Was that it was not making me feel good to look at my mess, to trip over my mess, and it was making me feel crappy. Yeah, I was just frustrated with how things were. I could make things look good on the surface because I have a lot of training in making surfaces look good. Photography, art history, visual merchandising, setting up displays when I used to sell mid-century stuff. I can make a decision. I can make a surface look good. Nobody's business. But wow, once you get me to stored clutter and sentimental clutter, that's when you realize that I grew up in a cluttered home. That I grew up being trained by people who also had issues with what to cling on to and what to let go of, what to spend money on and what to not spend money on, to save things even if it wasn't making you feel good and it was just buying more and more and more and filling up your house. I didn't want to feel that way anymore. So I started really paying attention to how my stuff made me feel, and not only just the thing itself, but the quantity of items that I had and the quality of items I had. And once I realized how much better I felt when I could release the things that didn't feel good, I craved that feeling more, so I wanted more of it. So I kept on releasing things until I got to kind of my just right point, where I look around and, it's a little bit more empty than it was, but it feels good. Okay? So I hope that helps. Okay? Now, I love this because I'm hearing back from Judy. I found myself going from room to room and seeing everything that needed to be done. Okay, you overwhelmed yourself, my dear. You overwhelmed yourself. Okay? Yeah, everybody, many people do it. Oceanana is saying it. I have a tendency to do that too, then I'm sidetracked. Okay, Brenda says, I'm so embarrassed to have daughter's fiance over this year, so I'm going to get it together this year. Awesome. I can help you. I love it too because Lisa M says, you have helped me so much. Found you years ago and have been decluttering ever since. Yay. I'm glad. This is why I show up, to make myself findable. So people who are struggling with clutter know that they're not alone and there's help out there. And Lisa has been following me on the TikTok, maybe on the mailing list, and I've been able to help her, and she's doing the work. I love it. But let's get back to what Judy was saying, because Judy was saying everything. Okay, here's the thing. Going from room to room and getting yourself overwhelmed. This is one of the things that can often happen when you are decluttering. Here's a wonderful trick I want you to do instead, okay? So Judy and Christine and Oceanana, I want you to all, and it's funny, I want you to all grab a workbook, okay? I don't have anything pre-printed. I sell no products to you, no books, no booklets, because that would just add to your clutter, okay? Find yourself a notebook, and on the top of it, go in intentionally to every room. And not just hearing the backseat drivers, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. Kitchen. Write down all the stuff that you need and want to do in the kitchen, all right? Then go to dining room. Write down all the stuff from the dining room. Categorize those things. Do not overwhelm yourself, but get those ideas out of your head and onto paper. Another page, living room. See where I'm going? Lather, rinse, repeat. Then, the next time you're decluttering one room and you go into another room to drop it off there, like you get dirty dishes in the office and you put them in the kitchen, you already know that you have written down the thing. It's like, you don't need to remind me I need to do that. I already have it written down. Okay? Chunking it down. Chunking it down. Yeah. And writing it down. Writing it down, you guys, as I'm telling you, I should have bought stock in these cheap notebooks that I buy in quantity at the beginning of the school year because they are about 50 cents at Staples. So I buy a stack of them. I buy like 20 because I use one of these on every single page on these is a daily basis. I do this. This is my weekend. See, this is what my weekend looked like. This is what today looked like. I write shit down and I get shit done, but good shit. Okay? So Notice where you get sidetracked. Does anybody ever remember, and this is me being Gen X, because I always pull out these things from my pop culture toy box up there, aka my brain, like the Family Circus, Bill Keane, I think his name was, and it was like Little Billy. Why is it taking Little Billy so long to get home from the, I sent him out to get a bottle of milk and he's taken so long, and it's because he was like, papa, papa, and it was like the little dotted line. Well, then I petted a dog, and then I went to the backyard, and then I went down this slide, and then I said hi to a neighbor. That's kind of like, if you don't watch it, you're going to end up like Little Billy. Little Willie won't go home, but you can't. I will not sing the whole song. Okay? Catch yourself when you are veering off course. Yesterday it happened on the TikTok, on the decluttering Zoom parties we had. One of my clients said, hey, I know you said 20 minutes and then you give me a 5-minute warning, but 10 minutes in, I'm already finding myself distracted. So what did I do? Per her suggestion, I added a 10-minute check-in. Hey, 10 minutes has gone on. If you found yourself taking a detour and you're off course, now's the time to get back onto course to do what you were aiming to get to do in this section. Okay? Yes. He takes the roundabout way because he's the roundabout girl. Yeah. There we go. We're focusing on the bedroom now. Right. Christine, with love. Exactly. Yeah. And you can do that. The other thing, too, I like to play with this sometimes, and I do this with my husband because he will be the one who says, oh, I just need to go down there and do it. Now, if I don't watch it, he will turn into Little Billy, and he'll go down the basement to drop something off, but then he'll play some drums, and then he'll look at a thing, and I'm like, all right, get back up here, because this is destination, and this is also about defining what you want to work on. So if you say, I'm working on this room, maybe what you can do is this. You play a game. And you say, I'm setting my timer. When the timer starts, it means an invisible force field has gone down all of the exits of this room. That force field is there for that 20 minutes. So even if there's things in your room now that need to go to other rooms, you can put it close to the door, but you cannot go out of the room until the timer goes off and the invisible force field disappears. I get like a Star Trek look vibe when I say that. So practice not doing the going from room to room. Practice categorizing the things that go in other rooms and piling them near the door. Then, when the timer goes off, you are allowed to go then bring those things into the other room. How does that sound? There we go. And the wonderful thing is, Bonnie Esther, nice to see you. And anybody who's saying, I'm sorry I didn't make the parties this year, I know for a stone cold fact that this weekend and last weekend are busy weekends. It's the holiday season in the Americas. Pardon me, I gotta take a sip. Notice how I'm taking care of myself. I'm gonna feel better after having that drink of water. I knew these last 2 weekends were gonna be busy for some people, but I figured it couldn't hurt to try. And so that's one of the reasons I offered multiple decluttering parties. Some of you who have been on my mailing list for a while, you know that we used to do just one Zoom a month. And this month I did 4. And we did decluttering while we were doing it. I changed it up because people said it would be helpful. Because the multiple ones seem to work so well, and I have the bandwidth, at least in January, to do multiple ones, I'm going to schedule multiple ones for January. The first people who find out the dates are going to be the people on the mailing list. So Bonnie Esther, you're on the mailing list? No worries. Yeah. Okay. So notice this. Yeah, it takes practice to stay focused. It does. But you will never build that muscle unless you use that muscle. And the more you use that muscle, the easier it is to just stay the course. Or I get distracted myself, but catching yourself while you're distracted and then getting back on the route. Again, it's just like if you want to go from here, if I want to drive from Boston to Key West, I'm pretty much going to take, back in the day, it would be like Route 1 all the way down. But if I find myself going west, it's like, no, like, someplace, I start veering off into, Kentucky. That ain't going to get me to Key West. So as soon as I find myself going in that way, I say, oops, get back on the road and get back to the route you were on, which is to your destination. Yeah. I was Little Billy so far. It takes practice to stay focused. My daughter says that I see something shining. Yes, squirrel. Squirrel. Yeah. Many of our brains are wired this way. for novelty, for, to look out for danger, to get distracted. And you can practice not distracting yourself. There's other times when that kind of puttering and decluttering is fine. But other times, if you really want to make an impact in a room, you have to stay there long enough to make the impact. It's like using your hose. You can kind of spray water a little bit all over the place and you'll see a little bit. But if you stay one place and you let it soak in, then you're really growing something. Okay? I love it. Yeah. User 1963 says, I like the timer. Everybody's got a timer on their phone. I don't use the timer that goes click, click, click because the clicking stresses me out. Sometimes I use the timer that's on my microwave or my stove because it has a beep, 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 and I need to go and shut it off, especially if I'm trying to get out of the zone, Diane Hamburg says, do you toss the book once it's filled or do you keep? What I do with this is my workbook. Every day, I'm a couple of days behind because I was coaching all weekend, is I will go through and I will pull the good stuff out of this book and I will write it in the good book, my book, the good stuff book. Then I, with delight, will tear off these pages, crumple them up, and put it in the recycle bin. But I will pull the good stuff out and remind myself of the good stuff. Okay? This is just a map. I don't need to know the map of where I'm going. I just need to know that it helps me on the day. But once I've gotten there, I don't need to know how I got there, except for it's the good stuff. And I write down the good stuff. The good stuff. This is my map. And you know what it is? Picking a destination, figuring out some stuff that's going to help me get there, doing that stuff, getting psyched about having done it, lather, rinse, repeat until I get there. It's pretty much that simple and that not so simple. I love it. Wendy M., even better. I use boxes for each place that my stuff may need to go. Yes, containerizing your stuff so it's easier to bring it to that room so I can sort and then carry to the proper place. There we go. Miss Cheryl says, I started off with a box for trash, shred, and get rid of, so I didn't leave the space while I was working. I love it. Flower Power is asking how to get on the mailing list. Wicked easy. DestinationDecluttered.com. Decluttered, past tense. All one word. DestinationDecluttered.com. And then go to that, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, and put your email address in the little form down the bottom. Hit click. You should get a thank you page and an automatic email. If you don't get the automatic email, you can shoot me an email, a personal one, or just let me know. Yeah, and then Wendy M. says, and sometimes I will walk stuff into another room to get my steps in. I do the same thing. It is a combination of the two, but it's the order in which you do things that can make a difference. I love it. Diane says, I have a small box in each room to put donate stuff I no longer like or need anymore. I do the same. Especially in our bedroom, I have hooks on the back of every single door in my room, in my house, and on the back of the multi-hook thing in the bedroom, I have hanging a white kitchen garbage bag that has like the little red handles. Anytime my husband or I realize we have clothing that we don't want anymore, we put it in that. When it gets heavy enough and it's hard to shut the door of the room, we take it off and we donate it. You can do the same thing. Find things that work for you. Find systems that work for you. I show up with a plethora, not too many, just the right amount of tools to get the job done. I do not overwhelm you with not all sorts of other things. I truly believe in having a small but powerful toolkit and not adding more things. I like to keep it simple and easy to remember so you know what to do when you're stuck. Think about the fact that we used to get the 64 crayons, right? But you typically only used a handful of those and you would occasionally use the other ones. I like to keep a really good set of crayons, a really good toolkit with a couple of powerful tools in it. Calming down your nervous system, calming down the backseat driver, writing stuff down, making a roadmap for your day, writing the good stuff in the book, chunking down, surface stored sentimental, head, heart, hand. What else do I use? Categorizing, deciding, helping to decide, all sorts of things. Though that really, what I just wrote, it took me 10 seconds there to show you the toolkit that I use. I just use the same things over and over again because why reinvent the wheel? They work. They're like multi-purpose tools, both to get your home decluttered and to use them to get your life decluttered. Saying no to the stuff you don't want in your house is the same thing of saying no to the people you don't want in your life. To say thank you, but no to the opportunities that somebody wants you to do something, but you don't want to do it. Thank you for thinking of me, but no thank you. Boundaries. Somebody gets used to interrupting you, you change that. You change that. Thank you, but no, we're doing something different here. I used to do this. I don't like where that got me. I'm going to do something different now. So I like to keep it simple, silly. I do not like to overcomplicate anything. That would be cluttering up an effective process. Think about your phone. You use it for like 3 or 4 things and there's so many bells and whistles. Nah, I don't use the bells and whistles. I just keep it simple. If you want to get it complicated, it could get complicated. But I like to make it easy for you to remember so that you say, I know what to do here. Previously, I used to be stuck, but now I have something I can do when I feel this way. Either overwhelmed or stuck or both or lost or sad. I now have a tool in my toolkit that Beth showed me, Destination Decluttered, that I can do when previously I was doing something else. And then you experiment with it, you try, you see if it works or not. If it works, you keep it in your toolkit and you practice and you use it and you bring it out all the time. It's kind of like, I don't know, going through TSA pre and always knowing that you got to get your license out or your passport out. And you know you don't have to take off your shoes. It becomes a habit to use these tools. The neat thing is, though, it's all up to you. I show up. I show you the possibility. I love my life. I love how my house looks, smells, sounds. I hear the heat turning on right now, which is great. I love the smells. I like the taste of the food that's in the cupboards. Maybe not the garbanzo beans, but I'm going to eat them because they're high in protein. All those things. I like how my house is. It's easy to maintain. It's easy to live in. I spend very little time maintaining my house, which means I have maximum amount of time outside of my house to do fun things or to just be in my house and fart around and read a book or scroll on TikTok. I love how I feel when I'm in my house. And I use that same toolkit to plan my life. I share those tools with you so you can do the same. Isn't this cool? I think it's pretty cool. Because why should I be the only one who has a good life? But here's the deal. I can share it with you, but you then have to take that tool and use it yourself and practice with it. I cannot force you to do any of it. But the neat thing is when you want to do it, it's there. Okay? Yeah, now I love this one. Linda Mosergear, I did this for a while myself, so I know the impact of this. So Linda is saying, I declutter like I am pretend moving. And we may move when my husband retires, and it helps the mind. Yeah, and what I like to do is I would say to myself, and I would say, no lie, I would say to my husband, I said, I know this sounds weird because I love where we live, and I know you and I have talked about moving to Palm Springs, California as a dream, but I don't really want to live there for many reasons. I really love where I live, but every time I'm moving things in my house, I get this kind of story, sentence, thought in my head. Would that look good in our Palm Springs home? And if it did, I kept it. And if it didn't, I let it go. The neat thing is that I then was able to use those same decorating principles that I would have used if we had a home in Palm Springs. I've applied those to our little house here in eastern Pennsylvania. So notice, if I were moving, would I bring this? Can I imagine this hanging on the home of the beautiful mid-century modern house in Palm Springs that I want to live in? Do I picture that there? How would I frame that? Would that go? I mean, funny thing is now I'm looking at something I framed. Technically, that would look better on a colored wall, but I have a white wall here. But the white wall reminds me of those wonderful white walls with pops of color that you see on. I have friends who are realtors in Palm Springs and their realtor houses. So yeah, pretend you're moving, and not just moving, but moving to your version of your Barbie dream house. If I were moving to my dream house, and then your definition of a dream house is different than everybody else's, would I want this thing in my dream house? You know? Now, DR says, live with 2 adult daughters who are unorganized, so I take pride in organizing my space. I love that you're organized, and I'm curious why they are not. I don't have kids, but I'm an auntie And I endeavor to teach the skill of decluttering to my nieces and nephew if they don't already have it. They may not already have it because their sisters, or excuse me, their moms are my sisters, and we didn't grow up learning these skills. I had to teach myself. Oh, I'm the oldest. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm a latchkey kid. I had to teach myself a lot of stuff. But I taught myself this and I love it. So why not share it with people? I'm sharing it with strangers here on TikTok. I'll share it. So if your adult daughters are unorganized, get curious why they are. Have you shared these skills with them? Think of ourselves as mama, not even mama birds. We are parent birds in a nest for younger generations. Even though your birds didn't maybe teach you this growing up, you can still learn this skill and share it with other people if you want to. Or just let it benefit your life. You know? So, I don't know. I freaking kind of love it. You know? Again, I get like 8 minutes and then I do sign off. So in case you are interested in what the heck's going on here, my name is Beth. My name is Karen. I can walk like a penguin. I know what makes an ocean wave. You know? Sorry, I was mixing up the aquarium and the Museum of Science, but only Bostonians of an age would know that. Okay? I do TikTok lives pretty much every day, except for when I don't do TikTok lives. Now, I share this with you because I do have one that is scheduled for tomorrow, and and a couple of ones this week. I have them scheduled, just so you know, I have them scheduled from now until the end of the year. And the end of the year is only in like 2 weeks, people, okay? Just saying. If you like what you're hearing and this is kind of fun and you're hanging out and you're learning some stuff, please, I said this to somebody last night. We went out to a show and I was talking to somebody and I said, yeah, I'm not going to write a book. So what if I say something, and this is true, I am not going to write a book. So if I say something that resonates with you, write down what I said to write your own book. Okay? And I say a lot of cool stuff. I get pearls of wisdom. I've got a pearl necklace full of wisdom. If you want to find out the next time I do a TikTok live, what time that's scheduled, tomorrow, the next day, if I'm doing any Christmas week, am I going to be there on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day? Hop on my mailing list. Okay? Yeah. Uncle Magnus, my hurdle is being unkind to myself. Oh, hell yeah. Many of us, that is the hurdle. That is the roadblock, is beating yourself up, talking bad to yourself. If talking bad to yourself got you what you thought it would work. It doesn't work, so we do something else here. So we quiet down what I call the backseat driver, and we turn up the fun, and we turn up the volume on your co-pilot. I show up in co-pilot energy, you know? I love it. Bonnie Esther says, we always like what we're hearing from you. You are very generous with your knowledge. Yeah, why the heck not? Why the heck not? Now, the neat thing is what I say to you, like I'm speaking right now to about 120 people. So everything I'm doing is pretty much something that has to be at the level that could ostensibly apply to every single one of the people if we are all in a room of 120 people. The difference is when I do one-on-one coaching, it's just you and me. And so we get really specific about your specifics to help you with your specific issue. You know, I love it. Bonnie Esther and Cat Mama, yes, let's hit the like button. I don't know, hit the like button, see what happens. I don't know what it means, but that's pretty cool. Okay. But yes, I do TikTok lives. I do one-on-one paid coaching. I have a mailing list. And on the mailing list, we just finished up a couple of weekends of doing Zoom declutter parties. They were so fun and they were so beneficial, not just to ourselves, but we raised money because there's a ticket fee involved with this. Modest, it's $20. Half of that goes to a women's homeless shelter in my town. I am able to donate over $600 to these women, this shelter. They don't even know this is coming to them this week. They will, though. All because you showed up to help yourself with something, and you can help other people at the same time. It's not just, oh, I'm gotta get my own stuff in a poop in a scoop, and then I can help you. You can work at it on the same time. And yes, thank you, Smarto266. Yes, I think it's really important because if you think about it, which I think about it a lot, is we have too much. Anybody who has clutter, you cannot deny that you have too much. It may feel like you don't have enough because that's why there's a disconnect, but technically you have too much stuff in your house. Right here is your just right point, your set point. Now, anything below that, you start to feel scarcity, lack, hunger, fear of not having. That's where the women in the shelter live. And I don't want to buy stuff for them. I want to get money so they can get clothes on their back. Then they can get what they need to even get up to just right, to get on the road. And how cool is it that those of us who have too much and know that it doesn't feel good are helping the people that don't have enough that also doesn't feel good, and we can all meet in the just right part, you know? So I will be doing the same thing with every single other one of my declutter parties. I've got 4 dates already picked out for January. If you want to know which ones they are so you can sign up. I will not release the links to them until the new year because I want to make it clean for my accounting, frankly. However, I will share the dates with you so you can pop them on your calendar and make sure that you can show up. And if you can't show up, no big deal. I'll look at my February calendar and see what I can do February. And lather, rinse, repeat throughout the months. Every month will be different because I'm a human. I am not a machine. And I have other things planned. Travel, pretty much. But if I have the time to do it, I show up for more than people would expect me to because I really enjoy like this. There we go. Yeah, yes, we could help them get their own notebooks. Clothing to look for work. The list goes on. Yeah. And feel how good it feels when you can help other people, but also, because I know there's many people here who say, I help other people, but I don't give time for myself. I don't give energy to myself. We're stopping that right now. I want you to practice showing up for yourself. Not instead of, like, you know what I mean? Temporarily, yes. Instead of other people, you got to say no to them to say yes to you. Show up for yourself. Get better at this stuff. Then you can show up even better for other people. Okay? Now, folks, we got about 2 minutes. 2 minutes left. How are you feeling? Hot, hot, hot? How are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Good. Maybe now, after we sign off in about a minute, you sit there and you say, okay, what amount of time and energy do I have today, and what are some things I could get done to go towards my destination decluttered? Do I know what my destination decluttered is? No. Well, maybe I'll sit down and write. How do I want my home to look? How do I want my home to function? And how do I want to feel when I'm in my home? Write down the answer to those 3 questions. Boom. You've got yourself a destination. And then you say, how do I get there? Well, you go back to that list you made of that room. Well, I know in the kitchen, it's going to help me to do the dishes. I must have fold the laundry because my laundry thing is kind of near my kitchen. There are some things that I could do today to make this one room or surface look good. I can do that. I did it. Yay. The end of the day, I did it. Yay. I wrote it down on the list. Okay. Lather, rinse, repeat. Okay. I love it. Bonnie Esther says 10K taps is helpful for the algorithm. Awesome. Thank you for taking care of me because I am happily clueless about that stuff because I enjoy what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. But if there's a way to get this word out to more people, I'm all for it. Okay? I love it. There we go. Michelle, giving myself accountability, saying out loud. She said it to me. She wrote it down. I'm going to share it with you. Michelle is going to do her living room today and get that coffee table clear. Awesome. Michelle, pretty sure you're on the mailing list, so you know when I'm going to show up tomorrow. I would love to hear from you to see how it goes. There will be no shame if you didn't get enough done or as much as you thought you would. Anything you get done decluttering is worth celebrating. That celebration fills your tank, makes you feel good, and makes you want to show up again and again because a lot of decluttering will take you showing up again and again and again. Yay, Michelle. I look forward to you checking in. In the meantime, it is 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to sign off. And again, I just say, hey, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach here on TikTok. I also upload my TikTok live recordings to YouTube. I also show up occasionally on Instagram and Facebook. The number one thing I would say, though, in all seriousness, is hop on my free mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. I do not spam you. Why would I declutter up your mailbox? All I do is share good stuff with you. And, yeah, I do one-on-one coaching, but I'm not even going to talk about that till the new year. But if you want to know what time I show up on the next TikTok Live from now until the end of the year, get on my mailing list and you get access to the, the schedule. Okay? All right, I'm signing off. Everybody have a rockin' day. Let's have some fun and get it done. Okay?